Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Here we are, brother. Moving on. After Na'ib al-Fa'il. We're in Af'al al-Istibrar al-Nasikha wa ma dama. Af'al, the plural of fi'l, verbs. Al-Istimrar means continuation. From the word marra, meaning to pass by. Istimrar, meaning to continue, right? To continue. An-nasikha, like the word abrogating, right? Or negating, right? Wa ma dama. So basically, you have some verbs which are continuation, verbs which show continuation and negation, and ma dama, right? Here, we'll read a few of them, and we'll notice that the first column is just repeated in the second column, except it has these verbs in it. So for instance, number 1, al-harru shadid. The har, the heat, shadid is basically extreme here. It's extremely hot, right? The heat is extreme. Al-harru shadid. Al-muhadhabu mahbub. The disciplined child, the one that has discipline, well-mannered. Mahbub, he's loved, right? He's loved, he's liked. Al-maridu na'imun. The sick person is sleeping, right? The sick person is sleeping. Al-matar hatilun. Al-mataru hatilun. Matar is rain. Hatil is to pour, to flow, be a very, very heavy rain, right? An-naru mushta'ilatun. An-naru, the fire, mushta'ila, meaning it is lit, right? The fire is lit. Al-qudatu adilun. The judges are just and fair. At-tajiru sadiq. The merchant is truthful or trustworthy, right? You go down to the next two. Khuluquka kareem. Your character is noble. An-nuru da'il. An-nuru da'il. The light is da'il. I'm not sure what da'il is. Give me 1 second. This is the da'il. I don't ever remember hearing it in my life, but little, insignificant, right? Or sparse. An-nuru da'il, meaning there's a little bit of light, there's not much, right? An-nuru da'il, coming from Dad Alif Lam. Look it up, Dad Alif Lam. Okay,
I can't see down there.
Huh?
Just say move the page, I can't see down. Okay.
Every one of these is basically made up of 2 words beginning with a noun, right? Meaning it has a mubtada and a khabar. Every one of these has a mubtada and a khabar. And every one of them is marfu'. Right? Now, khuluquka, ka here is a damir mu'tasal, attached pronoun. Is attached to a noun, so therefore it is mudaf ilay majroor. But since you don't see it, since it's mabni, we don't see it. But the mubtada khuluq is marfu', wa kareem, the khabar is marfu'. So all of them are marfu', as we can see. Hatta adilun is marfu' because it's jam mudhakkar salam. It's the sound masculine plural. It's marfu' here with a wow. Anyway, all of them are marfu'. Mubtada wa khabar. Simple sentences. Mubtada wa khabar. Jumla ismiya. Simple sentences. The hard part for us in these sentences is the definitions. That's the hardest part for us. Right? Now we go over to the second column. ما زال الحار شديدا. ما زال الحار شديدا. ما زال here means it has not ceased, basically the heat has not ceased to be extreme. ما زال, we have that a lot. ما زال, right? ما زال المحذب محبوبا. The one who is well mannered has not ceased to be liked. ما برح, huh?
Manala, what's it's like cease to be.
Yeah, right. Zala means to cease or to stop, like this. Ma zala, okay. Not ceased, right?
Yeah.
Ma bariha al maridu na'iman. Basically, the marid has not stopped sleeping. Right? The marid, the sick person, has not stopped sleeping. Not ceased to sleep. Right?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, basically. Right? Bariha means to move away or to go away from, to leave. So it's the same basic meaning. He has not went away from. He has not stopped sleeping. My body.
Could they be interchangeable?
Yes.
Right there says Zala instead of
you could say ma bari hal harru shadid or ma zala maridu na'iman. Yes. You could just change it. Right? Of course, there's a fine difference because no two words have the exact same meaning. So if if a person was super duper eloquent and you paid attention to, like for instance, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if he said one of these, you might want to pay attention to the different nuance. You understand what I'm saying? Because there would be a benefit in that, right?
Yeah.
But for the average person, they're interchangeable. And in fact, when I tried to ask some people what is the difference, they didn't know. You see what I'm saying? They didn't know. They said it's basically the same. We know that there's probably some difference, but they're the same. But mazala means to cease or to stop, or to not cease. Mazala, to not cease or to not stop. And ma bariha means to go away from or to not go away from because of the mat, right? To not leave, to not go away. So it's the same thing. What does it defeat? What does it defeat? What does it benefit us? Right? It benefits us the istimrar, the continuation, as it said up top, right? The continuation. And the mat here for the negation. When we read the ba'th below, inshallah ta'ala, the ba'th, not ba'th, with the ha, ba'th. We'll read it below. Inshallah ta'ala, hopefully it'll be a little clearer. ما برح المريض نائما ما برح المطر هاطلا. The rain has not went away from being flowing down heavy or whatever, right? ما انفكت النار مشتعلة. Basically the same thing. The fire has not ceased, right? The fire has not ceased to be lit, right? And fakka means to be separated or to be undone or something like that, right? So it's still the same meaning, right? That it has not ceased, it has not stopped, it has not been undone. The fire is lit. Ma anfakka al-qudatu adilun or adilin. Adilin, asif. The judges have not stopped or have not quit, have not, basically, like I said, the same meaning, have not stopped being just. And then we have a fourth one here, ma fati'a, and it should be a kasr here. Ma fati'a at-tajiru sadiqan. Right? This comes with the same meaning. We have zala, bariha, infakka, and fati'a. Now, infakkat here, because nar is feminine. Nar is a feminine word. We just have to use the appropriate conjugation of it, right? But fati'a is the same meaning. Fati'a is the same meaning. Ma fati'a at-tajiru sadiqan. The tajir, the merchant, has not ceased to be, or desisted from, or refrained from being truthful. All the same meaning. Interchangeable for the most part. Like I said, a truly eloquent individual, you would pay attention to how he uses them. If you could find the different nuances of each one, then you would benefit from him using a specific one. But for us and for the common people, then it all have the same meaning. And to find out the different meaning, you'd probably have to study 10 different examples for each one to see how they're used, you know. Then we read the 8th and 9th. تحترم ما دام خلقك كريما. تحترم, you will be respected. From the word or the root ha ra mim. This is like form 8. Tuhtaramu, meaning to be respected. Right? Like the word Masjid al-Haram. It's haram to do certain things there. Why? Because we respect it. It's a haram to hunt there. It's haram to kill plants and stuff there. Right? Why? Because it's a respected, a revered place. So tuhtaramu ma dama khuluquka karima. You will be respected madama, as long as your character is noble. La taqra'u madama an-nuru da'ilan. Don't read as long as the light is little or scarce. Right? Don't read as long as the light is little, dim, scarce, however you want to word it, right? So, madama here is benefiting us. These, as we all see, they have not ceased to be. It has not stopped. It is not all that. Up here, down here, it means something a little bit different, and we'll read it, inshallah, now in the bahth. الأمثلة في القسم الأول كلها جملة اسمية تتألف من مبتدأ وخبر. The examples in the first column, all of them are nominal sentences made up of or authored from a mubtada and a khabar. والأمثلة في القسم الثاني, and the examples in the second column, هي الجملة التي في القسم الأول نفسها or نفسها. They are the sentences which are in the first column, the exact same sentences basically. مع زيادة ما زال أو ما برها أو ما انفك أو وما فتئ أو ما دام. Along with these additions, the same exact sentences along with these additions. وإذا بحثت عما أحدثته هذه الأفعال, and if you were to research basically what happened to these verbs من التغيير عند دخولها على جملة القسم الأول, if you were to investigate or research what happened to these verbs or what these verbs did from changing when they entered upon the sentences in the first column, رأيت أنها رفعت المبتدأ ونصبت الخبر. You will find that they made the mubtada marfu' and the khabar mansub. So if we go up, we can look. What happened? Al-haru shadidun. Both of them, as we said, mubtada wa khabar marfu'. Ma zal al-haru shadidan. Shadidan, right? Shadid became mansub. Mahbub became mansub, while muhadhab stayed marfu'. Marid stayed marfu', wa na'imun alhamdulillah became yahdikum Allah yuslih balakum. Wa na'iman became mansub. Hatilun was marfu', it became mansub, while matar stayed marfu'. We had another set of verbs that did the same thing. What were they? We had another set of words that did the same exact thing to us. What were they?
Verbs.
Yeah, words that appear before, nouns that made the mubtada marfu' and the khabar mansub.
Kana.
Yeah. Kana wa akhawatuha. Right. Kana wa akhawatuha. So anytime kana and its sisters appeared in front of a verb, right? Then, or in front of a jumla ismiya, we had, for instance, Muhammadun Rasulun. Muhammad is a messenger. Kana Muhammadun Rasulan. Right? And any of the other verbs are sisters of kana did the same thing. We had the same concept. So it says فهي تشبه كان في ذلك. So it is similar to kana in that. وهي في الحقيقة بقية أخوات كان التي سبقت لك دراستها. So in reality they are the other sisters of kana, except the sisters of kana before that we had, they were capable of being without the negation. However, these here are only with the negation. The ma zala, ma bariha, right? Ma infakka, ma fati'a, ma dama. Right? These are all negation. Nasikha. They're canceling out something. Right? So, وإذا نظرت نظرة أخرى إلى هذه الأفعال, and if you looked another look at these verbs, رأيت أن الأربعة الأولى منها مسبوقة بحرف يدل على النفي. So the first four of them, they all show a negation of it taking place at all. Harf يدل على النفي. We're negating it. So ما زال الحر شديد, the heat has not stopped being hot, basically, right? Or extreme, right? All of them have to do with something not stopping, a negation. وأن الفعل الأخير وهو ما دام. As for the last one, and that's why there was a little separation with those little dots in between them examples, between 7 and 8, there was a separation. وهو ما دام مسبوق بحرف يدل على وقت الزمان. So if you notice that we didn't translate them the same, we said, when we said ما زال الحر شديد, the heat has not ceased to be hot, extreme. ما زال المهذب محبوبا, the well-mannered has not ceased to be liked. ما برح المريض نائما, the sick person has not ceased to sleep, has not stopped sleeping. When we said these down here, all of them was basically not ceased, not stopped, like this. When we said down here, تحترم ما دام خلق كريما, you are respected as long as. We didn't say does not cease. No. This one here, all these, they benefit us a negation. Here, this one benefits us a time or a basically a time or a period of something. So لا تقرأوا ما دام النور ضئيلا. So don't read as long as the light is little. So they have a different benefit. That's why at the top it said أفعال الاستمرار الناسخة وما دام. So it had the 4 basically verbs which show us that this is continuing, right? And their negation, right? And madama. And madama shows us that there is a continuation in time, right? With something to do with time. ويعمل عمل الأفعال الأربعة أولى مضارعها وليس لها في الأمر. So all the first 4, زال, برها, انفك, فتئ, all of them could be in the present tense. They could be in the past as they appeared here in our sentences, and it could be made in the present. But they do not have a command verb. These verbs, zala, bariha, and fakka, and fatiha, they do not have a command. Right? ولا يستعمل للفعل ما دام إلا الماضي. As far as ما دام, then it only appears in the past tense. It does not have a present tense, nor does it have a command form. Right? Okay, he says here, ويسهل عليك جدا إدراك معاني هذه الأفعال بتأمل الأمثلة السابقة. And it becomes very easy upon you the realization of the meaning of these verbs if you contemplate on the above examples. فإن من يقول ما زال الحر شديدا. So the one who says the heat has not ceased to be extreme, يريد أن يخبر السامع باستمرار شدة الحر. He wants to inform the listener of the continuation of the heat. ما زال الحر شديد. The heat has not ceased to be hot. So what he's doing, he's benefiting us he wants you to understand the continuation of the extremeness of the heat. ومثل ما زال في إفادة هذه المعاني ما بارها وما انفك وما فتئ. So, and the same example, the same thing as ما زال, same basic benefit, right? Same basic benefit. They want to show you the continuation of the sick person sleeping. They want to show you the continuation of the well-mannered person being liked. And they want to show the continuation of the rain pouring down. And the continuation of the fire being lit. in the continuation of the judges being just, and the continuation of the merchant being truthful. Right? However, وَإِن مَنْ يَقُولُ, what the one who says تُحْتَرَمْ مَا دَامَ خُلُقُكَ كَرِيمًا, but the one who says you'll be respected as long as your character is noble, يريد أن يبين المدة التي تحترم فيه. He wants to benefit you, or he wants to clarify the time or the length in which you will be respected. والفعل ما دام يفيد بيان المدة, and the verb ما دام benefits us the clarification of the time. So in the first examples, all of these first 7, what do we benefit? We benefit something continuing. It was hot and it is still hot. The person's respected and he's still respected. The sick person's sleeping and he's still sleeping. The rain's pouring down and it's still pouring down. Right? And these examples down here, these last two, madama, then it's showing us to do something only for a certain period of time, not a continuation. You will be respected as long as your character is good. You should not read as long as the light is little. So they have a different sense to them there. But the purpose is this: when you see these mazala, ma bariha, ma anfakka, ma fati'a, ma dama, then the mubtada becomes remains marfu'. But it's no longer called the mubtada, it's called ismu mazala, ismu ma bariha, ismu anfakka, ismu ma fati'a, ismu ma dama. And then the khabar becomes mansub. Right? The khabar becomes mansub and is called khabaru mazala, mansub bitfatha. Mahbuban, khabaru mazala, mansub bitfatha. Na'iman, khabaru mabariha, mansub bilfatha. Right? Hatilan, khabaru bariha, mansub bifatha. Mushta'ilatan, خبر انفك منصوب بفتح. عادلين خبر انفك منصوب بالياء. Remember, because عادلون was مرفوع بالواو. ما صادقا خبر ما فتح منصوب with فتح. Right? So this is how basically same thing. خلقك is the خبر ما دام اسم ما دام مرفوع. النار اسم ما دام مرفوع. كريما خبر ما دام منصوب. Right? بالفتح. ضائلا خبر ما دام منصوب بالفتح. So the same thing. When we said this was our mubtada marfu' bid-dhamma. Rasul was the khabar marfu' bid-dhamma. When we entered kana upon it, then Muhammad became ismu kana marfu'. Right? And Rasul became rasulan khabaru kana mansub. Same thing. The opposite of inna. If we remember, inna is the opposite. Inna Muhammadan Rasulun. Inna makes the mubtada mansub and the khabar marfu'. It's the opposite of inna wa akhawatuha. The opposite thing takes place. Right? Any questions?
Nah.
You just got to have the examples. You just got to see the examples when they come. So anyway, we have a few rules here. Number 93, مثل كان في العمل ما زال. That basically, ما زال وما برح وما انفك وما فتئ وما دام. They have the same ruling as كان. فهي تدخل على المبتدا والخبر. They enter these phrases ما زال ما برح ما انفك وما فتئ وما دام. They enter on a mubtada and a khabar. Right? فترفع الأول ويسمى اسمها. So the first one, the mubtada becomes اسم ما زال ما برح هكذا, and it's مرفوع. وتنصب الثاني ويسمى خبرها. And the second one, the khabar, becomes mansub, and it's called خبر ما زال ما برح ما انفك وما فتئ وما دام. Same thing we just went over. 94, ما زال وما برح وما انفك وما فتئ تفيد استمرار اتصاف اسمها بخبرها. So these first four, ما زال ما برح وما انفك وما فتئ, they benefit us the continuation of the description of the noun before it. Right? Of the noun with its information about it. Shows a continuation of that. وما دام تدل على بيان مدة وما قبلها. And ما دام benefits us the length of time of what's going to take place, right? What came before it. Number 95, يجب أن تسبق أفعال الاستمرار بأداة النفي. So these things, زال, زال, and bariha, and fakka, and fati'a, they must have a particle of negation in front of it. Meaning, in the past tense, it would be ma. In the present tense, it would be la. So, la tazalu ta'ifatun min ummati. There will not cease to be a group of people from amongst my ummah. La tazalu. So, ma zala, la yazalu. You're going to have a particle of negation in front of it. If it's something that you're negating in the future, for instance, len, and I'm just making up a sentence here, len yazal, because this is the future, and len makes it, right, mansub, so it should be len yazal, right, la yazal. لا يزال الجهنم or Jahannam or Har Jahannam, we could say Har Jahannam Shadid, right? So Lan Yazal, right? Lan Yazal Har Jahannami or Jahannama, because it's mamnu min as-sarf, shadidan, right? Haru Jahannam, Haru Jahannam. Lan yazal, it's in the present, but this is a particle of negation in front of a present tense verb. No problem, because these first four can be in the present tense. So we're going to either have ma or la or len or lam in front of these first four. Meaning zala wa bariha wa anfaka wa fati'a. You're going to have one of these four particles, ma, la, len, and lam. These are particles of negation. Wa an tusbaqa dama bima dalata ala zaman. Right? And that dama is going to be preceded by what shows something to do with time. So it's always going to basically be ma dama, because it only appears in the past tense. Right? It only appears in the past tense. Tayyib? Like I said, this is something I don't know if we've had. The only one I can think that we've had is Ma zala or la yazalu. We've had that in our readings. Just that one verb. Zala yazalu. And maybe madama once or twice. Maybe. In all the couple hundred lessons we've had them maybe once or twice. That doesn't mean they're not used. It just means they're not used that much in what we've come across. And when we come across them, then we'll get more. طيب. المفعول المطلق. This one, inshallah ta'ala, even if we have to enter into it again next week. Mutlaq means unrestricted, right? Unrestricted. This is the maf'ul. It's just like the other maf'ul bihi that we know, but it's I might have just messed up there. Let me make sure. Now my mind is flowing in one direction and absolute. So basically, yeah, here we'll translate it as absolute. That would be better, right? The maf'ul, which is absolute. And we'll get what we mean here as soon as we understand some of these sentences. So la'iba hasanun la'iban. Okay. Hassan played la'iban. It's hard to translate. I'm gonna have to explain it because the translation is difficult, right? Khatafa tha'labu. Khatafa means to jump or to pounce, right? Ad-dajajata khatfan. The tha'lab, the fox, pounced on the chicken. Khatfan, right? And I'll explain in a minute, so those three will become clear, inshallah. Yashrabu at-tiflu al-labana shurban. The tifl, the young child, drinks the milk. Shurban. Yashrabu shurban. If we notice, then each of these, and that's going to be the case for all of them, la'iba is our verb, and la'iban, khatafa, khatfan, yashraba, shurban. Our maf'ul here is called maf'ulun mutlaq, right? Basically, what this benefits us is tawkid, an emphasis, right? He played a playing, like he really played. He didn't just go out there and diddle daddle on the soccer field. No, he played. You understand? Hassan played. So I don't know how you could really translate that in English except by either adding words or in voice. You could do it with your inflection. Like I just, man, Hassan played, man. You know? Whereas Mustafa, he just went out there, he just kicked the ball once or twice and, you know, looked at his shoestrings, you know? Hassan, no, he went out there and played. Same thing. The fox pounced on the chicken. How did it, man? He pounced on him. You understand? He pounced on him a pouncing. That's basically what it means. He played a playing. He pounced a pouncing. He drank a drinking, man. Right? He drank. Right? This is benefiting us. Tawkid, like an emphasis. This is called maf'ulun mutlaq. Right? Maf'ulun mutlaq. It's clarifying, right? It is, what's the word we used a minute ago? It's qualifying or, absolute, maf'ul, which is the object, basically an absolute object. But here, in these first three, is done out of emphasis, tawkid. Right? Emphasis. Why is it called maf'ulun mutlaq instead of maf'ulun bihi? Basically because it's using the same verb to make the maf'ul. So he said khatafa khatfan, la'iba la'iban, yashrabu shurban. When that happens, when your maf'ulu is the same as your verb, then it's called maf'ulun mutlaq. And it benefits us in these three examples. It benefits us in emphasis. Yathibu anamiru wuthub al-asad. Right? Yathibu. It also, if I remember right, because I don't remember this word either that well. Basically, also to pounce, right? Oh, khatafa means to snatch. I'm sorry. So how did he do it? The fox snatched the chicken. Snatched it, man. Not that he went and took it, but he snatched it. And why do we benefit that emphasis? Khatafa khatfan. Here, yathiba from waw, tha, ba, wathaba, yathibu. Yathibu and namiru. The namir is the, like the cheetah. Right? Is the number of the cheetah? Yeah, tiger. You're right. Tiger. Number is a tiger. Jazakallah khairan. The tiger. It's hard to remember all these. Tiger and cheetah. Cheetah is fahad. Right? And when you start interacting with the Arabs and you start seeing like there's people named Fahad, you learn that means cheetah. At least me, I'm losing track of them, right? So, yathibu anamiru uthub al-asad. Yathibu means to pounce. The tiger pounced. The pouncing of a lion. Right? He didn't pounce like a tiger. He pounced like a lion. The tiger pounced. The pouncing. Uthub here would be your masdar. Uthub al-asad. It's maf'ulun bihi. What did he pounce? He pounced. It's describing. It's not maf'ulun bihi. It's maf'ulun mutlaq. It's coming from the same verb. Marra al-qitaru, marra sahab. The train passed by the passing of clouds. We can see marra here being the verb, marra here being the noun. It could be here marra is past tense. It's only going to be marra. Here, marra could be marru, marra, mari. Even though they look exactly the same. Marra sahab. How did the train pass? The passing of a train. The passing of clouds. Probably meaning slow or a long trail of them, right? Jarra Khalidun, jaryan sari'an. Khalid ran a fast running. Again, we see the maf'ul coming from the same verb, right? The maf'ul is coming from the same root as the verb, right? But afterwards, there is some type of clarification. So what does this set do? This set, it's the maf'ul, it's the object. However, it benefits us the type. No al-bayan. Or no al-bayan. Or bayan and no. I'm sorry. That's what it's called. Bayan and no. Bayan and no. The type. So that's what it's doing. What type of pouncing did it do? What type of passing did it do? What type of running did it do? Up top, it benefited us that it did it for sure. This is a real snatching, he drank, man. He didn't just drink the milk. He gulped it down, man. He drank that thing. Right? That's emphasis. Here, is showing what kind of pouncing, what kind of passing, what kind of running. But because it all comes from the same verb, the maf'ul comes from the same, it's called maf'ul mutlaq. Right? And then akala aliyun aklatayn. Ali ate 2 eatings. Ali ate 2 eatings. Again, mansoob here with a ya. Right? Mansoob with a ya. And it shows up and it comes from the same verb. Ali ate 2 eatings. Tadurul ardu dawratan fil yawm. Taduru, the earth goes around. Al ardu, the earth goes around. Taduru dawratan fil yawm. 1 turn. It goes around, it spins 1 spinning in a day, basically in a day. It goes around once in the day, in a 24-hour period. Coming again from the same verb. Daraba al-khadimu al-aqraba darbatan. The khadim, the servant, beat the aqrab, the scorpion, darbatan, a hitting. He hit him 1 hit. Basically, he hit him a hitting. All of these are maf'ul, right? Mansoob, and coming from the same verb. So they're called maf'ulun mutlaq. Here, what does it benefit us? You could say daraba darbatan. He hit him. He hit him. You could say that, no problem. He daraba darbatan. He hit him. Meaning, this could go up to the word of emphasis. It could be this one. Right? Tadurul ardu dawratan. The earth really spins? No, you wouldn't say that. It wouldn't be an emphasis here. Nor would it be a type of spinning. Rather, you could say tadurul ardu dawratul qura mathalan. It spins like a ball spins. Then it would be bayan and no. Then it would be a type of spinning. Akala Ali aklatul asad. Ali ate like the eating of a lion. Okay, then it would be bayan and no. You could say akal Ali aklatain. This isn't really emphasis. It's showing how many times he ate, like how many times. The earth spun, how many times? The khadim hit the scorpion, how many times? Darba, 1. So this benefits us the adid, right? The number of something. And you just get that from the context. So in maf'ulun mutlaq, you have these 3 basic categories: tawkid, bayan and no, and adid. Those that emphasize it, those that do the type of something, clarifying the type of it, and those that do the number of it. But either way it goes, they're all called maf'ulun mutlaq because they come from the same, the maf'ul comes from the same verb. Right? So this is maf'ulun mutlaq. The benefit in this is just, it's something that you're going to get much later on when you understand Arabic and you're able to translate, and you're going to be like, oh, so what does this benefit? How can I translate this? This is what, and it's going to, in your meaning in your head as well. But it's called maf'ulun mutlaq. It's on the maf'ulun, it's mansoob, because the maf'ulun is mansoob, whether it's maf'ulun bihi, the object of the verb rather, and or as maf'ulun mutlaq, showing us the emphasis or the type or the number, right? And we have maf'ulun li ajlihi, which is the next lesson, right? But we're not going to do that today, right? So there's different types of maf'ul. There's bihi, there's mutlaq, there's ajlihi, and there's other than that as well, right? But they're all maf'ul, right? They're all the object. But how are they the object? Are they the object which is absolute? Or Is it object of the verb or object of all that's later on. We already went through this bath. We already went through and looked at them and showed what it did and what's mansub and all of that, and it comes from the same. So let's just read our qaida real quick. طيب, our qaida is 1. Alhamdulillah. Al-maf'ul al-mutlaq, the absolute object. اسم منصوب موافق للفعل. It is a noun which is mansub, which agrees with the verb. في لفظه, in its pronunciation, right? Or in its wording, you could say here, right? ويجيء بعد الفعل, and it comes after the verb. لتأكيد, I put توكيد, they're basically the same. For emphasis. أو لبيان نوعه, or to clarify its type. أو عدده, or its number. That's what the maf'ul mutlaq is. It's a maf'ul, it's a ism, it's a maf'ul, the object which is mansub, which agrees with the verb in its wording. Basically, it comes from the same root. Akala aklatain, la'iba la'iban, khatafa khatfan, yashraba shurban. Comes from the same root, right? And it comes after the verb in order to emphasize or to clarify the type of that verb or the number of it. If that hasn't royally confused you, tell me. Oh. See? We're done, right? So now, here we are, basically, right? Here we are. Are there any questions about this? I mean, it's really simple, and at the same time, is not necessarily going to, for you to have to know the names and the types and all of that. You don't have to do that. What type is it? There's 3 different types. Is this bayan? Is this adad? Is this bayan and no? Is this adad? Is this ta'keed? Which one is this, that? You don't really have to know that, right? You just have to understand it. You just have to that's what a lot of this grammar is. A lot of this grammar, if you understand it, you don't have to go through all of this these rules. But what happened is these books are written for Arabs, so they already know this. They already know this sentence, so they're able to break it down in a way that we're not able to. You know, the same way as you start talking to an Arab about an object and the object of the verb and the definite article and the subject and the predicate and the adverb. What are you talking about, man? I just want to understand the sentence. You know, I don't need to understand adverbs and all the other stuff, right? But for the English-speaking person to become more eloquent, then he needs to understand these terms and these concepts so that he can speak better. And so for us, we just need to understand them. We don't have to know all the terms. But you can't really teach it. You can't really make you understand it without teaching the terms. You know, because the Arab, he already understands it. So, you know, I'm teaching you to understand it. But, so I'm teaching you. This book is for teaching the Arab the terms. You see what I'm saying? And the details. I don't really want to teach you the terms and details. I want to teach you to understand it. Whereas they already have that. So I can't teach you to understand it without teaching the terms. And so that becomes the difficulty of teaching Arabic grammar to non-Arabic speaking people.
Well, that's grammar period, though. You know, just like when in English, we already know the language when we start learning grammar.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. You can't really teach an Arab English unless, like, you can't teach it to him. I mean, now that doesn't mean he can't learn it. I'm saying, but you can't teach it to him without teaching him some of these grammar complicated concepts. But he can learn it on his own by, say, watching TV and just mixing with the people and imitating what he hears, and then he'll learn English. But if he wants to improve his English and he wants to become better at it, he's going to have to learn these concepts. But the issue is the Arab who comes to America, he's going to be going to college in English. He's going to be watching TV in English. He's going to be hearing the news in English in the car. He's going to be talking to people in the masjid or whatever in English, in the store in English. So he's going to be learning the language basically through like osmosis, right? Just naturally. And then when he does start picking up these grammar terms, it's going to make a lot of sense. For you, it's the opposite. You're not in an Arab country picking this up. Right? You're not in an Arabic country hearing the radio. You're not in an Arabic country talking to the guy in the store in Arabic. So you're trying to learn the rule without having much natural element to it. So that's what makes it difficult. That's what makes it difficult. You don't have that much of a natural element. So that's why when we read, see, you're not going to read too much about a boy drinking milk or a lion pouncing or a fox snatching, or you know what I mean. You're not going to too much read about that, but you will read stuff in Thalathatul Usul and Quad al-Arba and Arba'in an-Nawawiyya and Umdatul Fiqh and so on and so forth. And so that's why we try to use it in what's going to be natural to you, which is going to be reading Islamic texts. So that's why we try to use not the examples in the book, because there's lots of examples. Look how many, when I go down here, you know, here I start Tamareen exercises. You know, 2. There's 2.5 pages of exercises. Some of them have 4 or 5 pages of exercises. You know. So this one here, for instance, all this, we had those, and then you get here exercises. 1, 2, you know, 2.5, 3 pages of exercises for, right, Madama and Mazala and all of that. But the problem with doing those exercises with you is you don't understand most of the vocabulary words. So I would spend 75% of the time going over vocabulary words and 25% of the time going over the rule. So what we do instead is, why don't we use it in a natural, and in the vocabulary, you don't want it. You don't care about Tha'laba and Khatafa and Yathiba and Wathaba, and you don't care about all that for real. Unless it appears in a hadith. So why don't we read it in a hadith? Why don't we read it in the book of Aqidah? Why don't we read it in the book of Fiqh? Why don't we read it in the book of Tafsir? And then it'll make sense to us, inshallah ta'ala. The best way to learn vocabulary is by picking the vocabulary of the stuff that you want. If I start talking about vocabulary of Arabic vocabulary of politics, you don't care about that. I start talking about Arabic vocabulary of computer science, man, you don't care about that. You're not going to remember those terminologies. But if I start talking about Arabic vocabulary of Aqidah and Fiqh and Tafsir and stuff like this, oh yeah, I need those words. You see what I'm saying? Any questions?
Nah.
Alright, inshallah, I'm gonna start making probably I'm gonna spend me a couple days and make me a list. I don't know if you saw, I put a poll out on YouTube.
Did you get mine?
What? I don't know who.
It don't come individually.
No, it don't tell me who said what.
Oh, okay. But
it just says who wants what. So far, right now, if I look at it, let me refresh it. 38 votes. 66% of the people say every day. 26% of the people say every other day, and 8% say once a week. Those people are lazy, right? So anyway, I'm gonna probably do it every day or at least 6 days a week. But I'm gonna make my whole chart up. I mean, there are verbs which are doubled, and those which are weak, and those which have an alif or a waw in the beginning, an alif or a waw in the middle, an alif or a waw in the end, an alif or a waw or a ya. That's what I meant to say. There are those that have aleph, a wow, or a ya in the beginning, the middle, or the end. We have those which have doubled letters. We have some of the verbs which have an aleph and a wow, or a wow and a ya in the same. They have 2 weak letters in them. So there's different types of verbs, right? Even inside of Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, there's up to 7 different types. So what we're going to do is, what I plan to do is take 5 of every type. 5 of a sound verb, 5 of a weak verb, 5 of a hollow verb, 5 of a doubled verb, 5 of those with a hamza, 5 of those with a wow and a ya. All of that of every form. Form 1 will have 35 verbs. Since we have 7 different types of Form 1, right? 7 different types of possibility. I'm going to do 35 verbs of Form 1, 35 of Form 2, 35 of Form 3, so on and so forth, right? And I'm going to make my chart up so that I already have it ready, so that I'm not looking today what verb am I going to do. Rather, I'm going to spend me the next couple days, and I'm going to, inshallah ta'ala, put together the list of those 350 verbs. Because there's 10 forms. But not all 10 forms have 7 types. Some only have 2. Like Form 9 only has 2 forms. Right? So, but there are verbs which have 4 root letters, 5 root letters, and 6 root letters. So we're going to go over some of those as well. It still ends up being 350 verbs. So I'm going to fill out my verbs. I'm going to make my verbs. I'm going to pick the verbs. That's what I want to say. I'm going to pick the verbs. And then I'm going to start, inshallah. So within the next 4 or 5 days, by the end of this week, inshallah, maybe Yom Sabt, I'll start just 1 a day. What did you say? How many? 1 a day, once a week? What? Abdullah?
It's fine with me.
Which one did you say?
Well, I said every other day.
Well, you just watch a video every other day then. You know what I mean?
Huh?
You just watch a video every other day then. You don't got to watch one every day. You just watch it every other day. But I'm going to make it every day, you know. But I'm just going to do what we do in class, man. I'm just going to make the chart. You know? I'm just going to make the chart. You know? And you know, third person, second person, first, single, dual, plural. I'm going to write it in. I'm not going to teach it. I'm just going to write it in. And from the consistent practice, you're just going to, you know, I'll talk about it. This is the Aleph Nain. This is the Ta Sakina. This is the Ta for Enta, T for Enti. But I'm not going to really teach it. I'm just going to go through it. Boom, boom, boom. And hopefully after 350 days, you'll have it, Bidnillah.
Yeah, inshallah. Mike can look at it these days. I thought it was going to be like a teaching thing.
No, it's going to be 10 minutes or less, hopefully, you know?
Okay.
That's the point. 10 minutes, something, just review. Something, for instance, I'm going to make a PDF with this chart on it, right? And allow you, probably like up here, to put the root. For instance, ka, ta, ba, right? This will be in the past tense. We'll make one set down here. Just say present tense up here where it says past. This one will say command, right? You choose which one it is. You'll have all 3 on one sheet of paper. For instance, you have 3 charts, right? With the verb up here. This one's past, present, command, and you know, place for the masdar and the file and the maf'ul to write on. You can print that paper out. And then I'm going to say, for instance, in the beginning of the dars, kataba, for example. Kataba. Right? Kataba yaktubu. So I give you the basic form of it. Kataba yaktubu. That's our form. Right? Now, what do? You can pause the video and try to fill it in yourself. Right? Try to fill it all in. And then go back and watch the 10-minute video or something, right? Or maybe, I don't know, I'm just thinking like that. Maybe I'll do an introductory video to show what I plan to do, and then say tomorrow I'm going to do Kataba Yaktubu. And then you can try to do it, and then tomorrow watch the video to see if you did it right. Then, and at the end of that video in Kataba Yaktubu, I say tomorrow I'm going to do Jalasa Yajlisu. And then you can do the paper, print it out, and try it, and then watch the video the next day to see if you did it right. Like this, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the details, but something like that. طيب.
Inshallah.
Alright. I'll see you brothers tomorrow with 40 hadith, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.